Okay, camera's rolling, all righty. Just like Jeopardy here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Or Wheel of Fortune or whatever, right? Okay, so go to slide number 16-5. And there's two different kinds of demand. What are those two different kinds of demands? Yep. What is dependent demand? Items are usually what? Dependent is internal. So if we had independent, then that would be external customers, right? So, you know, can anybody follow the theory on that? What's the theory mean? Is it possible that I'm an organization that if I make make cars, I also make steel? I make my own steel in the same plant or very close by. Can you give me a better example? What would that do? What would it do to inventory levels, do you think, if I made my own parts? The inventory should go down, right? I shouldn't need a lot of inventory because I can make it as I need it. I don't have to depend on somebody halfway across the country that I have to stock up to, right? Again, you know, if you think differently, that's fine. But if you saw on the test on slide 6, is 16.5, is 16.5 there? Does it tell you that there's dependent and independent, right? Can you, if I ask you to, you know, recognize that as your grandmother, could you do it? You know, do you know the difference between it? All right. So what on slide 16.6, 16.7, and 16.8, those three slides, what are the different costs that I have in inventory costs? What compose inventory costs? What all is involved for me to hold things in inventory? Can you name one?
Carrying costs.
I'm sorry, I'm hard to hear. Carrying costs. Now that's a very good one. What is another name for carrying cost? A carrying cost is also called a, anybody know? A holding cost. So to carry it in inventory or to hold it in inventory is a cost, okay? So make sure that if you're reading along here and you have a question and you say, it said holding cost. What the hell's a holding cost? Another name for a holding cost? Sorry guys, I got my back to you, but you know, I'll switch. The girls are much prettier on this side.
You went from this much?
I thought it was all guys over here, you know. Well, what the hell, you know. So we got carrying costs. What are the other things? That's what you get for hanging out with a guy. What's another? What other kind? Ordering costs, right? You know, so I got to order. It costs me so much to order. And then what's the other one? Shortage, right? If I come up short and I don't have it, what's it going to cost me because, you know, I can't make these other parts or I don't. So again, if you saw that A was carrying, and B was ordering, and C was storage, and D was all the above, what would you say? You guys are all smart enough, right? You don't need remedial training in A, B, C, D, right? All right, so what are the two things in 16-9, right? What are the two things that we're involved with inventory management? What are we determining with management? Two things that are important to us. To manage inventory, we need to manage
sales.
Sorry?
Sales and profits.
Is there a C word in there?
Cost,
right? And what's the other one? Is there a T word in there? Time, right? Is it on there? Now again, sometimes they go around these. They give you alternate words to that. You know what I mean? But what are the two things? This is going over like a lead balloon, huh? You know what I mean? You guys learning that? You know, it's like, well, where's the theory at? But this whole chapter is almost all math. You know, there's very little theory. So, okay. So the next thing we're going to look at here is 1620. That's our very first. 1620 is our very first one, right? So who is going to be my guinea pig and go up to the board here? Save me from. Yeah, we're supposed to rotate it anyway. Somebody has to go up. The class is going to help you, right? There you go, right? Eric, you going up?
Karen, you go to the board?
I'm on my way up. I'll be there in a couple hours.
Don't be bashful. There you go. See there. Hey, and tell you what, when you go up there, tell me your name, because at this point I should know them, but I don't, right? You know.
My name is Lindsay.
Lindsay, yeah, Lindsay Wagner, right?
That's who I was named after.
Yeah, yeah. Is it? Are you?
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
My dad had a crush.
yeah, well, hell. You know, but not anymore, though, right?
Who knows?
All right, so can you help Lindsay out here? What is that formula? That formula is QOPT, right? What's that mean? Optimal order quantity. Is that what we're looking for? Right?
Right.
All right, good, good. I like reinforcement, you know what I mean? So can you tell her, so it's QOPT, you know.
So little.
Yeah, yeah. That's what all the girls tell me, you know. Yeah, and tell her what it equals what? The square root of 2 times, I'm not, you got it up at the top of it, right? No, inside it, but it, right there, 2 times, right? What? CO. Now what's CO?
Cost.
What kind of cost?
Ordering.
Ordering cost, yes, sir. And then what's D? To CO. Somebody else help her out. What's the next one? Is there a capital D there?
D.
Yeah, D. What is D? Demand, right? Now again, there's 2 D's, big D and little d, right? Little d is what? Daily. Big D is annual. Now, it doesn't mean that the graduate assistant doesn't screw up big D and little d. You know how we've run into that, right? But I'll try to take care of you here. So, okay, and then what is it? We're still within that. It's over what? What's on the bottom?
Cost.
What kind of cost? Carrying cost, right? Carrying cost, right? So if I told you that now, okay, here's another thing, you know, again, it's times like this, I wish I would have gone over this much better than what I did, but, you know, we have a keyboard that costs $1,000, so write that down, $1,000, right?
$1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And the annual holding cost is 25%. Okay, so what's that going to give you then? What's that number? 25% of 1,000 is 250, right? That's what I got, 250. So you see, we want to know what our carrying cost is. In order to figure that out, we have to take the, 25% times 1,000. And the ordering cost is 150. All righty. And
Demand is 10,000.
yeah, huh?
Demand is 10,000. That's all.
Yeah, how'd you know that? He must have the test before I did, right? The demand is 10,000, right? See, the 10,000 and 1,000 got me. So can you plug those numbers in? 2 times, what is my ordering cost? I didn't tell you that one, right? The ordering cost is 150, right? There you go. Times 150. Times the demand, right, which is 10,000. Now it's annual demand, that's why it's a big D, so you're okay there, right? And then divide it by the carrying cost, which is 250, right? Can you guys do that? Can you tell me what the optimal order quantity is with those numbers? See, again, you need a calculator.
2,000.
What'd you get? 2,000? He's got a quick calculator, but I don't know if it's accurate.
Textbook.
Huh? Oh, that's all right. Is it the exact same way?
2,000 yards.
Yards? No, but these are test questions, my friend. You're not going to find it in the book, I don't think. You know what I mean? But, so you've got to actually do the math there. That's why I want you to practice doing the math here tonight too, so that you know how to do it. So again, if you wanted, what's 2 times 150?
300.
Yeah, times 10,000.
300,000.
Divide it by 250. Yeah.
10,000 divided by
you gotta help her out here so that we're gonna be here all night, right? I could do all this.
I'll head occasionally.
No, you can't, right? That's why,
I think it's 3,000 divided by 25, right?
well, if you wanna, yeah, go ahead. If you get a final number, that's okay.
3,000.
300? Yeah. Over. Yeah.
30,000.
300,000? 3 million?
And divide it by 250, right? Then you gotta take the square root of it. So, yeah. One oh nine, yep, 0.54, right? Okay, that's exactly right, you know. So again, if you got any problems here, I mean, you know, I don't have a calculator that does square root, you know, I mean, or do I multiply them before, you know, do I take 2 and divide it by 250 and then take it times 150, you know, you have to know those principles of what you do first, right? You know, what's in the parentheses you do first, those type of things. So you did it exactly right there, Lindsay, right? 2 times 150 times 10,000 over 250. Again, most of this chapter is just plugging in, knowing which formula and plugging it in, right? Now again, are you smart, right? You know, again, I'm taking these because I'm going to give you about 50 questions here, right? But, so I would go through and I'd find grandma right away, right? I find some bitch that looks like 109.54, you know what I mean? I'd sort of look there and match those numbers up and move on to the one I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But if we walked out of here tonight and somebody says, can you do optimal quantities, giving those parameters, could you do them? Okay, again, that's what we want. So the optimal quantity there is to have 109.54. Again, I could go over all the details here, but you know, it'll take all night to do that. So, okay, Lindsay, pick somebody else here. You know, tap somebody on the shoulder here. You know, we'll play. What's that called? Tag team tap out or tag team or whatever. You know, tag somebody. You can get rid of that other one up there too if you want to. Thank you.
Here's the good marker, by the way.
So you don't know if they're getting a good one or a bad
I know.
one here. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Mr. Bradigan over there.
It's all right. She did you a favor. You can just read this one, you know. But you're going to have to tap out to somebody too. So look at 16-9, okay? 16-9. Tell me the difference here. And actually, if you two of you want to handle this, what's the difference between a continuous inventory system and a periodic one? So let's take a continuous. In a continuous system, what happens?
In order is placed for the same constant amount when inventory decreases to a specified level.
Yeah, so, you know, little terms like it's a constant amount is ordered, right? So what I'm saying is, let's say, I don't know if this is a good example. Say that I have 20 heart valves, and I got it to the point where if it drops to 10, it automatically reorders 10 more. That would be a continuous inventory system, right? Now, what's the other ones, you know? Again, you want to pick on one of your buddies there? It's an easy one here.
Sure, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, pick it, right? So, Ryan, can you tell me what is a periodic system then?
It's when an order is placed for a variable amount after a specified period of time.
Yeah, so what happens is I got 20 heart valves, and all of a sudden in 2 weeks, everybody's having a heart attack, you know, because you guys are hard on the professor, you know. I had, you know, well, you're knocking me and slack off like, you know, groundhogs on the road here, right? And in 2 weeks, we really went through a lot, so we're going to have to come in. We go from 20 down to 5. I'm going to, you know, in those 2 weeks, I'm going to have to reorder 15 in order to get myself back up there again, right? So again, if you come up with a better example, it's fine with me, but know the difference between a continuous and a periodic, right? Now, okay? Now, when do we use the EOQ? In which one? When? See again, in Rogers Smart Data, right? Rogers Smart Data says to improve enterprise performance, we have to use the correct metrics, and we have to, you know, apply the correct methodologies, right? So when, which one of these systems do we use EOQ? Huh? Yeah, continuous is EOQ. And if you don't think that if the logic didn't work, what does 1610 say? Right? 1610, what does it tell you? Gesundheit, right? My God, another girl that's allergic to me. You guys all right?
Our slides aren't matching yours.
You're probably on the wrong.
1610, yeah.
Did you take 10? You're not on 1610?
Yeah, 1610 talks about EOQ.
Does it talk about continuous on 1610?
Yeah.
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah.
That's that damn $1,000 book messed you up. Why do you know, how do you even know you have chromosomes, right? Why do you even have an EOQ on 1610? What is the reason why we have an EOQ? What's it do?
It minimizes the total inventory, all the
Right.
ordering costs, everything like that. So that's the quantity where.
Exactly, and if you wanted to go back to the first day when we started talking about linear programming, right? And we did linear programming, what were the two things you could do? You can maximize certain things and minimize other things, right? In this case, we want to minimize, and two things that we said, we want to minimize costs and time too, right? So now if we deteriorate it, right? And when, would you say that this is a good thing for just-in-time inventory? Is just-in-time inventory a good thing? Who are the people that are the gurus in terms of just-in-time? Who came up with it? Yeah, which is the Japanese, right? Now, is there a time when that hurt the Japanese?
Yes.
Huh?
Index tsunami.
Perfect, you know what I mean? Yeah, rocket scientist, right? I read it, he knew it, you know what I mean? But yeah, so here they have a small amount, just in time, just the amount they need. Tsunami hits, and all of a sudden I need a lot more drainage pipe and building materials, and they don't have them in the pipeline, you know what I mean? But again, well, what do? We're making certain assumptions, right? You're assuming Jimmy Carter isn't going to come in and that the interest rates are going to go to 20%. We're going to assume that interest rates are going to be, other than that,